shit, it's season 2! Season 2 of the movie dump!
Wow. That was
started
off with a bang there.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, trying to
right into the action
right in here, you know, because it's season 2 of the movie dump!
Yes, we're back for, I guess, season 2 of the well-awaited movie dump return. Kind of like this movie.
It's kind of like the first day back at school after, you take the summer off.
Yeah. Well, we kind of did take the summer off.
Yeah.
In a way.
If season 1 was Superfly, we're like the super spider that ate the super fly, which made it more super. Yeah.
I don't think you really know what Superfly is.
I have poor planning ability.
So, in light of our return to the movie dump, we decided to watch Superman Returns. Although, unlike this movie, we got back to work in 2 months instead of 12 years or 20 years.
5 years. 5 years. 5 years.
Yeah. 5 years.
He was away for 5 years.
Well, it took them 20 years to make another Superman movie from the fourth one, and it took them 12 years to actually finish this product because there was like 3 different directors that were tied to this film, 3 different scripts.
I mean, when you do the math, that's 5 years.
Well, I mean, if you carry the 1, it is. But I don't know.
Yeah,
it's beyond my ability of long division.
Yeah, Superman Returns came out in 2006. It's directed by Bryan Singer and
of X-Men fame.
Yes, of X-Men fame. He actually dropped out of doing a Logan's Run remake to do this one. Yeah, to do this movie. It's supposed to be a sequel to the first 2 Superman movies starring Christopher Reeves, just pretty much pushing Superman 3 and 4 to the side and said, no one fucking cares about those movies. Let's continue the story from Superman 1 and 2.
Yeah, so it's like 2.5. Superman 2.5.
Yeah. So, Scott, do you want to read the synopsis?
Yeah, sure. Let me get the synopsis.
Do you remember how to read synopsises? Scott,
could you help me with?
Well, Scott went to reading class while we were away. So
yes, reading. Oh,
actually, before you get into this, I want to discuss what did we do on our so-called summer vacation.
Well, I wrote semi-erotic poetry about superheroes and politicians, and then posted them anonymously on anonymous blogs where they got mostly negative reviews.
Well, that's
sexy. Sort of, yeah, I guess disappointing, sexy.
Yeah,
Nick, what did you do?
I watched every season of Toddlers and Tiaras, and Here Comes Honey Boo Boo.
I just have this mental image of you sitting in a bathrobe eating Funyuns while watching Toddlers and Tiaras.
Going, oh, so good. It was the best show ever, and
it was a bucket of Bluebell ice cream.
It was cheese balls,
but I can't eat these because they make me fat.
Well,
cheese ball and popsicles.
I went on a little vacay and went down to the Caribbeans and I kind of
you're the only one that got out of the country.
Yeah, I got out of the country.
Scott and I went to a gun show and ate beef jerky.
I actually had a religious experience when I was down there and joined the Rastafarian movement, and now I'm
I was wondering why you suddenly wear a lot of pastels and short pants.
Yeah, I am no longer Ben Johnson. I am Ben Lyon. So, I'll probably do a lot of these under the influences of...
He's gonna be like all yeah man, but more white. So it's like yeah man,
yeah man,
yeah man.
All right, so back to the movie.
Yeah man.
So we watched Superman Returns.
Correct.
Yes, we did. Anyway, let me get right into this. After a long visit to the lost remains of the planet Krypton.
It's pronounced Krypton.
Oh, I'm sorry. Reading classes. Sorry.
Crapton. Compton.
The Man of Steel returns to Earth to become the people's
champion.
Savior once again and reclaim the love of Louis Lane. I mean, wait. There's a
Lois Lane.
Are you sure the L isn't silent at the end?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
If it was silent.
All right. Let's break this synopsis down. He, after a long visit to the lost remains of the planet Krypton,
Crafton?
Compton.
Compton. The planet was destroyed. If anyone knows the story, the origin stories of Superman,
Who doesn't? I mean, if you, I don't even think you can classify yourself as an American if you don't know the origin story of Superman.
well, I mean, this podcast isn't just solely in America. You know,
Yeah,
people
that's true. We do
worldwide listen to this, so there might be someone over in Africa who's listening to it go and has
Why
no
the-
idea.
That was.
I
don't know
love
if
this
that was
the
re-
new rap station.
We
I don't know if that was racist.
started
or
off,
hilarious.
just started off going that
right in there.
direction.
Let's just go
We're more
off straight
edgy
up.
in this season.
Yeah.
Well, Superman's from a planet called Krypton,
Compton.
and
Crafton.
planet's destroyed. And before the planet is destroyed, his father Jor-El sends him off as a little wee baby, and in a spaceship to survive. He crash lands on Earth, and he's raised by farm folk.
An orphan of the universe.
And now we call him Scott.
I was gonna say that sounded a lot like my origin story too. Crash to the earth, or just
Raised by farm folk.
Yep.
I like that phrase, farm folk.
farm
farm folk. And and that's Superman right there, or Clark Kent, or Kal-El, whichever way, whichever name you
Dave.
want to give him. Dave. Yeah, sometimes some people call him Tim. You know.
Tim, the Superman.
But the planet was supposed to be destroyed, and
It was.
it was.
It was.
But for some reason he decides he's going to go and try to find anyone that any people that are remaining from just kind of wandering around, any refugees of Krypton, and no success.
Which, ironically enough, if this goes in canon with the movies, if he just stuck around long enough, he would have met his cousin.
Yeah. Which actually, I think
True.
there was a mention about her in this film.
It was an ambiguous term. It was
Yeah.
when he was talking about how he was gone for 5 years and he felt all alone, and Ma Kent didn't really tell him, but she threw that line out of like, "Oh, you don't know what you missed while you were away."
Yeah, which
referencing the entire Supergirl story, which was really fucking bad.
Which
But
is
anyway.
which I think that's another movie we need to watch eventually. But that movie came out after the was it the third and fourth one, or it was in between like the third and fourth movie.
I think it was probably
Supergirl movie. Yeah, that was third and fourth.
You think?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if that happened, I mean, if we're trying to stick with Bryan Singer's, then let's just call it what it is. This is a love letter to Richard Donner's
I'll agree with
Superman.
Oh yeah. There was a lot of
God,
lot
so
of
many
references, and
so many
throwbacks
references.
I mean,
to
they
the first
used
and second.
clips from the first one in
Yeah.
this, basically.
Yeah. They have
also known as the title sequence.
no, that was completely wrong. The theme for Superman, the music that was done by John Williams, they were able to use it in this. I mean, it was
You mean the
redone.
da-da-da-da-da-da?
No, not that one.
What about da 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 da?
No, not that one.
Oh, okay.
They were able to use that in this. I mean, it wasn't straight exact same one. It's someone else.
It's a
composed.
remastered.
Yeah, it's a
sort of
remastered version.
recomposed,
Yeah,
remastered.
but you had the same
5.1
theme.
surround sound.
They have the same theme, and the movie starts off very very. It gets you.
it gets you
amped
excited.
up. It
It
gets
gets
you
excited
ready
for
and
Superman.
excited
Yeah.
for this movie. I mean, this is a movie that's been long in the making. Everyone's been waiting for this movie to come out.
Yeah, didn't you guys go see that in the theater or something?
I saw it in theaters.
I saw it
We
in the
didn't see
theater.
it together.
Yeah, I never actually saw it in the theater or anything. Like it was one of those. I really like Superman. I just wasn't. I don't remember what I was.
I was
doing when
excited
this
just
movie
because
came out.
it would have been the first Superman movie I saw in theaters. And I was excited. I was amped up for it. And about 20, 30 minutes into it, I was still waiting for a good Superman movie to see in theaters.
Well, see, well, that's not entirely fair. I think it starts out really good. Like
I don't think it does. I mean, the movie itself, the pacing mirrors the first movie.
Yeah.
It's a very, and the first movie has been criticized by
It's
fans
deliberate.
that it's kind of long-winded in some parts, but that's more of an origin story, and you're setting up where he came from and all that stuff. You're telling the story of his upbringing.
Right.
This movie, you're not really telling that story because we already know where he comes from, but yet we're still having the same type of pacing and beats.
Yeah, I mean, they sort of they almost just summed it up in like a blurb at the beginning, right before the planet exploded.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Like they were like, "This is what happened. Now we're going to visualize it."
I kind of understand that. I mean, especially with this coming out, 20 years later after the first two ones. You kind of have to have some like little synopsis in there to introduce to the new audience.
I think they did a good job not drawing it out too much, because I mean, honestly, I don't know anybody who doesn't know basically how Superman came to be.
Yeah.
He's like a freaking icon.
Yeah. I mean,
actually, I shouldn't say he's like an icon. He
is
an
an
icon.
He's an American. That's an American staple right there.
Yep.
Even just like a lot of Americans, he's an alien that comes to America.
Unless you go by the comic Red Sun, then he's a Russian staple.
Now, I don't know if I don't know if it was a working title or not, but I was watching some of the video journals that Bryan Singer did, and a lot of the shots where you saw like the slates before each scene. The slate read Red Sun. I don't know if it's a working title. I haven't heard anything about it. That was the only time I actually saw Red Sun. So I don't know if that was like something that they were messing around with, kind of like the new Superman movie that's coming out. It's not called Superman. It's called Man of Steel.
Right.
I don't know if it was something that they were tossing around, but
maybe. I mean, like that's like what Nick was saying earlier while we were watching the movie or something. He said Red Sun, if they were going to do like a movie off of that, that would be more like a fan film.
That would have to be a fan film because I don't
really good story. I think it's like kind of the Red Sun story is one that a lot of you got to be kind of a hardcore Superman fan to really know about it. But it's basically where instead of Superman landing in Smallville, he lands in Moscow and is basically brought up as
government.
like communist.
Would he still have his truth, justice, and American ways type of values, or would he have communist values?
Yeah, strangely, Batman was Russian too.
So it
was a Russian Batman because apparently,
can't have Superman without Batman.
Yeah, the rest of the Justice League is depending on wherever Superman landed.
Yeah,
but that was a very interesting story. That'd be kind of cool to see them bring to the screen in some fashion, even if it's like one of their animated movies that they've done.
Which the DC and Marvel have been doing just fantastic.
They've been doing a really
especially
good job.
DC. They've
DC's been doing really good.
All
the Superman ones that I've seen, I think, have been really good. Their animated movies. I don't know. I like.
But anyways, let's go back to let's return to Superman Returns.
Let's go back.
And our old habits just fall into. Or we start to talk about one movie, and by the end of this, we'll be talking about Die Hard.
Yeah. So
well, let me give the first soundbite of season 2 here.
Okay.
I think you're really going to enjoy this one. It was the point where I suddenly discovered what movie we were watching.
I want to know it all, everything. Olsen, I want to see photos of him everywhere. No, I want the photos. Sports, how are they going to get that plane out of the stadium? Travel, where did he go? Was he on vacation? If so, where? Gossip, has he met somebody? Fashion, is that a new suit? Health, has he gained weight? What's he been eating? Business, how is this going to affect the stock market? Long term, short term. Politics, does he still stand for truth? Justice, all that stuff. Lifestyle. Superman Returns.
Wow.
It's good to know the soundboard still works.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
apparently Scott took reading lessons and soundbite lessons.
Well, see, that was the problem. I couldn't work the.
He was illiterate, so he
well.
couldn't hit the right button.
Yeah, I was sort of illiterate, and like what you said. Yeah.
All right, now there's something in that soundbite right there that I want to talk about.
Overwhelming confidence that I actually am watching the right movie. Because yes.
Right before that, Perry White says, "Truth, justice, and all that stuff." One of the Superman staples is truth, justice, and the American way.
Yep.
That's what he stands for. That's what Superman stands for. It's truth, justice, and the American way. Why the fuck did they why did they change that?
I think it's kind of weird, especially if this was like such a love letter to the old one.
It's like a love letter that he's picking out. He's like, this is what I like, but this is what I could change.
Oh, and Superman needs a son, by the way.
Don't even get. We'll
get to that.
We'll get to the sun part later. We'll get to the sun part because there are some really fucked up issues with that. But Bryan Singer actually did a pretty decent job with casting. Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor, Brandon Roth as Superman. He kind of had that Christopher Reeves look.
He really pulled it off. Yeah. I mean, it's like everything from mannerism to how he looked. It was
I really think
like he or whatever.
I really think he studied like Christopher Reeve for a while.
Yeah.
well, the movie part of Superman, Christopher Reeve for a while before he like went and did this, because he really got like the enunciation down, just everything.
Yeah, his mannerisms, everything. The only thing that kind of bugged me about
his eyebrows. He kind of had some bushy eyebrows.
You concentrate on the weirdest.
His eyebrows were a little too bushy.
It wasn't the eyebrows. The eyebrows were fine. I don't give a shit about the eyebrows. What annoyed me was Christopher Reeve's portrayal of Clark Kent was more of a
bumbling nerd.
Well, no, it was more like he rehearsed acting that way so he could kind of blend in more. Like it was almost a comical way of like the audience knew he was doing this as I have to make it look like I'm not perfect,
right?
Because I'm really Superman.
So when people came up and said, "Hey, you could be Superman," he's like, "Look, derp."
Yeah, but
Super what? No, that's crazy.
But Brandon Roth's version of it, he's more of just like the bumbling idiot. That it was a sad puppy type of thing.
It was a very sad puppy throughout a lot of this.
Yeah, and god damn, Superman was just really mopey.
Yeah, it was emo Superman.
Look, he's been out in space. He's been around a lot of blackness.
I'm not even.
Atmosphere. That guy has probably
not even
had a drink in light years.
I'm not going to even touch on even though he said that he didn't find anything from Krypton. Where the fuck did the spaceship come from that he landed in?
Space.
But where? Where the fuck did he find the spaceship?
Maybe it wasn't a spaceship. Maybe it was just like a hunk of rock he decided to bring back. You think of that?
Could be. He was like, "Hey, this is a really nifty geode."
It was the same type of ship that he was put in when he was a baby. And
maybe it was the same ship.
No.
Could have been the same ship.
But he didn't leave in that ship.
Maybe he found something on pieces of Krypton.
I don't know.
So he fits in the same ship that he fit in when he was a baby?
Sure. He was a big baby.
There's a lot of things there that really don't add up. That's not that, I'll push that aside, okay? I'll push that aside and say, he could have found it, whatever. Blah, blah,
Well,
blah,
see
blah.
what they did.
You're arguing the science of Superman. Come on, man. It's like Harry Potter. That never would have really happened.
Physics
That spell would not work at all. It makes no sense.
Magic missile doesn't curve that
wasn't
way.
right for it.
You mean you only see the creatures after someone's died? That's stupid. The fuck is a snitch?
So Kevin Spacey's portrayal of Lex Luthor was, I thought it was kind of
I liked it.
I thought it was really good. It was a mixture of Gene Hackman's Lex and the comic book Lex.
Yeah.
It was a very
brilliant mastermind and
eccentric
real estate owner.
Yeah, there was a lot of parts in there that mirrored Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor. There was a couple lines in there.
Still had a few wigs.
Had a few wigs. Yeah,
I actually liked how he got all that money back. At the beginning.
Yeah, how he got all his money back. He pretty much just conned an old lady out of all the money. Now, the whole thing for him was his big, huge plot in this movie was to pretty much grow a new continent using the alien technology and
basically the shards,
shards
that
of
plug
kryptonite
into the computer at the Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah, the crystals from the Fortress of Solitude and kryptonite, kryptonite, and pretty much it has the same effect as if you get a gremlin wet, it kind of grows and multiplies and builds
into the shittiest looking continent known to man.
Yeah. Let me play the soundbite of he's explaining to he's explaining like what's gonna what this continent's going to be about, and what his whole overall goal is for this movie, which is we'll discuss it. But
Super bye.
What do you know about crystals?
They make great chandeliers.
This crystal may seem unremarkable, but so is the seed of a redwood tree. It's how our mutual friend in tights made his Arctic getaway spot. Cute. It's a little small for my taste.
You're building an island?
You're not seeing the big picture here, Miss Lane. Let me enlarge it for you. Not just an island, an entirely new continent. An extinct world, reborn on our own.
Why?
Land, Miss Lane. I mean, Kitty, what did my father used to say to me?
You're losing your hair?
Before that.
Get out.
He said, You can print money, manufacture diamonds, and people are a dime a dozen, but they'll always need land. It's the one thing they're not making anymore of.
But the United States...
Will be underwater. It's simple physics, Miss Lane. Two objects cannot occupy the same space at the same time.
And the rest of the world will just let you keep it?
Bell, what? I'll have advanced alien technology thousands of years beyond what anyone could throw at me. Bring it on! And eventually, the rest of the world will be begging me for a piece of high-tech beachfront property. In fact, they'll pay through the nose for it.
But millions of people will die.
Billions! Once again, the press underestimates me. This is front page news. Come on, let me hear you say it just once. Come on.
You're insane.
No! No, the other thing. Come on, I know it's just dangling out the tip of your tongue. Let me hear it just once, please.
Superman will never...
Wrong!
So he's building a new continent.
A new continent. And we shall do it using something I have just invented called the Large Hadron Collider. Unless the world pays us $100 billion.
God damn it, Scott.
God damn it, Scott.
God damn it.
It's relevant.
Is season 2 over with yet?
Isn't season 2 usually when they like recast people?
Well, you know, we're a victim of the writer's strike that happened a couple years ago, so... You know.
Scott, I'm just saying, at the end of the second season of The Sopranos, someone died. At the end of the second season of Empire, someone died.
Uh-oh.
It's nice knowing you, Dominic.
I'm sorry, his plot was just so comically over the top evil.
It was
awesome.
It was, and the continent that he creates from kryptonite is, who the fuck is gonna want to buy a plot of land on that?
Well, I mean, the United States is pretty much underwater at this point, so
It seriously was like he took fucking Mordor out of the ocean and made like beachfront property. Right?
Craft a ring and drop it in the middle of that thing.
It's a very fucked up plot.
It's
for
a
like,
supervillain plan. Come on,
Yeah,
it's
but
gonna have flaws.
it's such a
If you aren't gonna
it's
like
like
be shooting something into the sun, you know, you're gonna be destroying
that's
something.
supervillain plan number 3. Like it shoots something into the sun, destroy the moon, bring up land, turn everyone into apes. It's like your top 4.
Yeah, the thing that
Convert
bugs
the
me,
world's currency into Cobra bucks.
the thing that bugs me with this though is like the return of Superman. It was just it almost seems like he got bored out in space and he just came back.
I think that's what happened.
There was no reason because shit wasn't going on when he came back. I mean,
flying around out there is like, God damn it! That's why they call it space. There's so much of it.
There's nothing out here. And he just comes back and he's like, you know, fuck it, you know, I'm here. And then, you know, it just happens to be coincident that Lex Luthor decides to bring up land. And I wasn't feeling it. I didn't feel as interesting as I think it could be. And also that, like, no one really questioned that he was gone. And everyone just decided to, you know, hey, Superman's back.
Superman's gone. Hey, Clark. Oh, wait, no, he's in Africa.
Yeah. Clark's
Batman's
gone.
like, man,
Superman's
now I gotta
gone.
take up the slack.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things that just kind of felt weird. At least like in Dark Knight Rises, like Batman came back because he had to. There was shit that was going down. He had to come back. The city needed the symbol. With this,
Superman just sort of like, boop,
he's
hey
just
guys,
like, boom, hey,
what's
I'm
up?
here. I'm here. Oh, hey, some shit's going down now. And a lot of the stuff that he did, like, you know, the saving the plane, doing, you know, things like that, it felt like more he was doing it because he kind of felt sorry that he was gone. He's like, all right, I'm guilty that I was gone. I'll do this.
Yeah,
I mean that really would have helped the movie out a lot. Yeah, like you were saying, like it needed like some, like say the world like crime was just rampant now because you know Superman's gone.
You do bring up a really valid point. It is
cats away, the mice shall play sort of deal.
Yeah, it's like you came back and say, hey, any supervillains out there? Anyone?
Because then he could, you know, You could clean up everything. You'd have a nice little montage in the middle of that thing where he's like, doing
80s montage
Yeah,
of Superman cleaning up the city.
sort of, a la Ghostbusters, just sort of like that. And then, supervillain stuff happens. And
Any mole people attacking? Anything?
Yeah.
Well, I thought would have been a really cool story that they could have pulled from the comics was like Superman's gone, and he's been gone for 5 years. This is like Lex Luthor's time to shine. Since he wasn't here, Superman wasn't able to testify at court. Thus, Luthor
Those parking tickets.
Yeah. Thus, Luthor is released from jail. He's found not guilty or whatever because we didn't have the testimony from Superman. And in doing that, Lex Luthor starts spinning shit, saying that Superman's really a villain. He's not here to help us. He's here to control us. And
where is your God?
Yeah, pretty much like where's your God now? Where is he while all this shit is happening? All this stuff is happening in the world. And he runs for president, becomes president, and now it's all under Luthor's reign. And the things that Superman did do, he could start kind of taking credit for because Superman's not here. Luthor could start taking credit for it, and then Superman comes back, and when he comes back, he's public enemy number one, and people are after him, and now Superman has to build his reputation back up and show that no, he's actually the good guy, and the reason why he's coming back is because Luthor's evil mastermind to steal the power from Krypton or steal the moon, whatever the fuck you want to do it. I'm not planning this shit out very well.
That would have been awesome.
To launch a truckload of babies into the sun.
Give it some substance. Give it something instead of Superman's bored out in space. He came back to Earth.
And then we would have had one of those sweet, Lex Luthor power suit battles.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing that I think that's why everybody likes Superman too, because he was he was actually fighting 3 people with the same powers that he had.
Yeah, he was
first one. He had to save some nukes. Like, shit.
You're like,
I want to see a kick-ass Lex Luthor mech suit battle. That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, because that's like in the comics, like all the time. Lex Luthor, builds a suit that
Kryptonite powered mech
almost
suit.
as powerful as Superman. Have a chance to take him down at some point. Usually after some master plan has gone awry.
And the thing from the second movie was, he decides to get rid of his powers because he wants to be with Lois Lane. So he gets rid of his powers, and in doing that, he finds out that it's not that he pretty much has to sacrifice what he wants in order to protect the people of Earth. And his father tells him that there's this scene where he's in the Fortress of Solitude, and he's talking to
Plus, Lois Lane's going to do anything he wants in bed.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, "Look, bitch, I got rid of my freaking superpowers here.
Yeah,
you pretty much owe me."
But he gets his powers back because his father
because he whined about it.
Explains that he's he has to
just kidding. It was a test.
He has to help out humanity. That's his goal. That's what he's there for, is to help them out. And not
by the way, when you get this humanity back, when you get your powers back, you can't ever talk to me again. So fuck you.
He can't be selfish. Now, wouldn't you say leaving Earth behind, not explaining where the fuck you're going, to find anything left of Krypton, kind of selfish? He just up and leaves. Doesn't hold a press conference, nothing. Just goes. Doesn't tell anyone. Just fucking leave.
Hey, you guys are on your own for the next 5 years, so invest in nukes.
Yeah, doesn't say where he's going. Doesn't say when he's going to be back.
At least leave a number to get a hold of him at or something.
But don't worry, you're going to have to leave a lot of voicemails because cell phone reception is really shitty 100 light years from here. So.
Give him a pager. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. There's just...
He gets the Saturn. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, God damn it.
Turn around. This isn't the Superman that we see in the first 2 movies, or that we see, in the comics. This is more of a, fuck, I'll just do what, I'll come back, I'll do this because I feel sorry.
It's like, he's flying around space man, you could really go for some Dunkin' Donuts right about now.
The rest stops are shitty.
Damn it!
The rest stops are so dirty up here, man. There's blackness everywhere. So much blackness.
Now,
you just cannot get a good shrimp cocktail out here.
In the synopsis, it says that he returns to Earth to become the people's savior once again, which we already talked about.
Jesus.
And
nope, The Rock.
and reclaim the love of Lois Lane.
Fuck that up.
Well, he comes back and finds out that Lois is married to Richard White, which is the nephew of Perry White, who apparently he's also not only the editor,
but he's also a pilot.
He's a fucking pilot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why not make him a fireman too?
Which is kind of
Probably a pretty good cook.
Well, if you think about it, it's kind of interesting that way. That
Excellent pianist.
that she falls in love and marries a guy that also flies. I mean, it's not Superman flying, but he flies. And there's that little line in there where she says that that Rich takes her flying all the time.
Yep.
So do you think that's kind of like
And Superman's like, not like this.
Was she
It's
trying
not
to
the same.
find?
She can't
yeah.
dangle out the edge of the airplane.
Is she trying to like find like a substitute or the second best in that? That's
She
kind of
went for
that's-
Cyclops, so
Gotta go for a superhero and pilot, fly. Yeah, I'd say there's some sort of issues going on there.
like maybe the reason
replacement
why
issues.
it's a
I
replacement
suppose.
issue. Yeah, that whole love triangle right there, I would have loved to have seen played out a little bit differently because they mention it in the synopsis. They kind of talk about it, like he knows what Superman was to Lois, and all this stuff. Superman comes back, he's still in love with Lois, even though he's wiped her memory clean of their little love affair that they had. He's still imagining that there's going to be something there.
So this memory wiping thing that was something that happened at the end of the second Superman movie when he gave her a kiss that erased her memory, which was, I mean, shit. That happens to me all the time.
When the
so,
fuck did he have? When the fuck did he get that?
No, it happens to me all the time. I
There's
kiss a
some
chick,
wacky-
she's like, I don't remember that.
There's some wacky stuff that goes on in the
Well,
original Superman movies.
When that happened, did that happen in the Richard Donner cut, or did that happen in the release one, or did it happen in both?
I think it happened in both.
I kind of think it did too, but if it didn't,
I
happen
know
in
the
Richard-
cellophane S didn't happen.
That was horrible.
That was just
Yeah.
in the first.
so
one.
bad.
That
was so
that
Why did you
bad.
throw some saran wrap at me?
That was stupid. That was just, where the fuck did that come from?
Like, what Superman comic did you read where that happened?
Yeah,
So,
making up superpowers.
but yeah, like in the second movie where we already said, Superman, trades his powers to have a life with Lois and as Clark, because by this time she knows Clark is Superman, Superman is Clark. And
I mean, that's a very honorable, noble thing to do.
Yeah.
But man, when he sees how expensive airline tickets are going to start getting, he's going to regret that. Just saying.
Exactly.
Just saying.
Exactly. So
Wait a minute. It's not free? Oh, I don't like being a normie.
So that's when they finally fuck is when he doesn't have his powers and they fuck.
That's when they fuck.
That's when they fuck. They fuck like fucking rabbits. And
They fuck like fucking rabbits?
They fuck like fucking rabbits.
I did.
I'm gonna
like
keep adding.
fucking-
There's another fuck every single time.
Fucking
We
fucking
could go
rabbits.
all day. We could like fucking.
Well,
fuck,
we only got
fucking
like
rabbits.
an hour podcast, so I don't think we could.
The fuck are we talking about?
But
Fucking rabbits, man. Fucking rabbits.
so at the end of the second movie, like Nick said, kisses her, boom, memory erased. She doesn't remember a thing about Clark and Superman and their little fuckcapade that they had.
But where they fuck like fucking.
Where they fuck like fucking rabbits. Okay, jump to Superman Returns. Lois Lane has a kid. The kid later on in the movie shows superpowers when he flings a fucking piano.
To be fair, we don't know that that's really Superman's kid.
He flings a fucking piano.
Could have been a
And-
mutant.
and-
Could have been a mutant.
And
Could have been a
mutant.
really light piano too.
he
Could've
was
been really
reacting.
like, yeah.
He was reacting to the kryptonite when Lex Luthor was holding it next to him.
He just
It was
sat there.
mentioned. He was even asking whose child is that, and then in the hospital when Superman was in a coma, she whispered something to him,
Yeah, it was probably like
and then at the end of the
get an
movie,
HIV test. I
and
don't
then
know.
at the end of the movie, Superman gives the same exact speech to the kid as his father did to him in the second movie.
With
Oh.
great power comes great
No, that's
responsibility.
fucking Spider-Man.
Wrong movie.
You either die the hero or you
No,
live
no,
long
no,
enough to-
wrong movie.
It is? Oh, okay.
So I mean, it's
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
right movie. It's
Die Hard was a great movie. I just love Die Hard.
It's shown that this
You know
is
what was
that
really
this is
great
his
Die
kid.
Hard movie? Die Hard Returns. That was a pretty good movie.
Die Hard rises. Where John McClane has to come back out of 7 years of retirement. Because Alan Rickman has like a mask on or something.
Yeah, it's great. It's fine.
This gives you power over me, motherfucker.
Can we get back to the kid? Can we fucking get back to the damn kid?
Yeah, why not?
So all I'm trying to say is she knows that it's Superman's child, even if she, has like just maybe like just questioning the idea that it might be Superman's child because he flew
She could have
flung a
slept.
fucking piano across the
She
room.
could have slept with any number of other superheroes.
But the thing, the thing that's kind
It's
of
common knowledge that in the DC universe, Lois Lane is the biggest slut out there.
She
Okay.
slept with Blue Beetle.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying.
Elongated man? Come
Elongated
on.
for
I
obvious
hear
reasons.
She had a thing with Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Where's that movie? I want to see that.
Tied her up and everything.
She tried Batgirl, but Batgirl sort of doesn't swing that way. So
Well, I mean, the wheelchair kind of.
Oracle.
Yeah.
But no, if she just even had a thought that this might be Superman's child. Wait a minute. When the fuck did I have sex with Superman?
Hey, I've got a better question.
Yeah.
What happens if she tried to abort that child? Good luck with that one.
Well,
Aborting a kryptonite baby.
there was actually a
Not good.
let me see if I could find this. There was a script that was circulating in the 12-year span of making this movie where
There's a couple scripts circulating.
where Superman, almost every single script has Superman dying. But there was one that was kind of interesting where Superman dies, but before he dies, him and Lois do the dirty, or fuck, or whichever way you want to say it, and she becomes pregnant.
we call that the
then
mambo.
And then when she was giving birth, she dies while giving birth to a fully grown Superman.
No wonder she dies.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, who the fuck came up with that idea?
That's a bad idea.
That is completely.
That's like somebody was watching Aliens while they were writing a Superman script.
I like the idea that
it was like they didn't know how to bring Superman back from dying.
I would love to see
quick, birth full grown. We're good. Yeah.
I want to see that script, but I also want to see that script merged with the idea that Superman was a womanizer and slept with like 12 other people, and then gave birth to 12 other Superman babies.
There you
and
go.
They all had to fight
Each
each
one
other.
had to have a different disability.
Yeah. Each one had
Wheelchair
something different.
Superman, ho!
Yeah. And it became like a
They've already
Superman-
had that one.
Oh.
So anyway.
ADD Superman, not being able to focus enough to give anything good. Dyslexic Superman.
They all had to fight each other on like an island. The one left alive is the new Superman.
The Superman with the freakishly big arm.
He's
taking
black for some reason. I don't know. John Henry Irons.
Hey, that would be awesome. That's what I thought when I saw the trailer the first time of the Man of Steel. I thought it was going to be the John Henry Irons story. He was an awesome Superman. That guy was great. But
Now, fuck, what was I gonna say? I
I don't know.
ADD Superman ho. Fuck. Oh, the different. There was a lot of directors that were attached to this project.
Ridley Scott.
Was he?
No.
what? I was going to say this isn't a Ridley Scott project.
It's all dark and mysterious.
He designed the Kryptonian island, and that was it.
It all takes place on a spaceship.
It almost looked like the Kryptonian island.
I was just reading the goofs over here.
What?
It said, if Krypton was completely destroyed, how did Superman get one of the Kryptonian suits, like the Elders, like he was wearing when he crashed in the field of his chest? What? That's total. Oh, man.
Yeah.
It was in the spaceship.
Nope. No, it was not.
I'm leaning
I
more
like to
towards
say-
I don't know how he got the spaceship.
All right,
taken.
I like to think that's just the underwear he wears underneath his suit.
So he wears long underwear with a giant S on it.
You
while
don't-
he's wearing a
hey,
spandex
you
suit.
have to. It's-
wearing a giant S on
It's
it.
cold out in space. You need
I
a
guess
double
so.
layer.
I guess so. I mean,
So Brett Ratner and Mick G were two directors that almost filmed.
Brett Ratner and Bryan Singer often seem to like just mix up
Yeah, because
directing duties.
Brett Ratner came along and finished the X-Men
Yeah.
trilogy. He did The Last Stand.
Yep.
Who else was Tim Burton was supposed to be directing this. Tim Burton was probably out of the ones, except for Bryan Singer, was the one that went the furthest into production. I mean, Kevin Smith wrote a script for it.
Really good script, by the way.
Really good script. It was, the script or the movie was going to be called Superman Lives.
They canned that script in there.
Well, they canned the production,
project?
but they were far far enough into production that they actually had a teaser poster made.
Well, I mean, I've
If
seen
you
some
ever hear-
stills of the Superman costume from that too.
If you get a chance, you gotta hear Kevin Smith's story about him writing that script, where he went in and sat down with the producer, and like the producer was like, "Well, you gotta have him fight a polar bear." And you're like, "Oh, you want Superman fighting a polar bear? Why?" He's like, "Well, polar bear is the most fearsome creature on the planet." He's like, "Oh, okay, all right." And then later on, he's like, "Well, you gotta have him fight a giant spider." Like, what? Why? What?
Why would you fight a
Spider is the most fearsome creature in the insect world. And then he talks about how that same producer went on to release Wild Wild West. Giant spider in it.
Yeah. He was going to get his giant spider in something.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, there was J.J. Abrams was attached to or wanted to. Or,
that'd be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, he wrote a complete shooting draft of the script, which both Brett Ratner and McGee
There's probably
were
like
planning
30
to shoot.
scripts just
There were
sitting
so
around.
many. Yeah. What else was there? There was something here that McGee wanted either Beyonce or Jennifer Lopez to play Lois Lane. How would you react to a Superman movie with Beyonce or Lois Lane? Or
That
Jennifer
should've
Lopez as Lois Lane?
That would have sucked.
Yeah,
it would have been
I
the same
thought-
thing as like a Black Kingpin, you know. And
Yeah, I mean,
Daredevil.
it just would. I mean,
would not have worked.
it's not wrong, but it's not.
I
Right.
thought Michael
don't
Clark
really
Duncan
see
did
him
it
as
okay.
He did good, but it was just wrong. It just didn't work. You know?
To me, it would almost be like where they cast Halle Berry as Catwoman in her own Catwoman movie.
Yeah,
But that, I mean, they just destroyed that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There was
to me, I mean, I think I would have liked to see. I wouldn't have mind seeing a McGee version. I really like what he did with Terminator. I think he got a bad rap for that.
Terminator
but,
Salvation. Yeah, I don't know why people were giving that such a crap.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely don't want a Charlie's Angels Superman. Which honestly, I don't know. That kind of style might work for Superman because it's always kind of campy anyway. Or I think it would work better for like Fantastic Four or something like that.
Oh
Yeah.
Which are they still supposed to be remaking that movie?
Yeah, the guy that's doing that did Chronicle is taking it up.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, that could be
which Chronicle is
interesting.
really good.
That might be
would
kind of
be good.
interesting. That would be
Yeah.
really interesting. There's a lot of interesting information in here. Like originally, Bryan Singer wanted to have General Zod in this film, and he wanted to have Jude Law play General Zod, but Jude Law turned him down multiple times. He's just like, "Fuck you, I don't want to do this." So he took General Zod.
I could imagine this being like almost the exact same script with General Zod wanting to remake Krypton. So
Now,
he stole
how would they get General Zod back into this?
Oh, he was in the Phantom Zone.
Yeah, but how would they
In
get
there.
him out?
Well, actually, since this went into continuity of the second one,
Yeah.
what happened to General Zod at the end of the second one? I don't even remember.
They were put back in the
Put him
Phantom Zone.
back in the Phantom Zone?
Yeah, they were put back in the Phantom Zone.
So he gets out again. He got out
Phantom
once,
Zone,
obviously.
yeah.
but his two little lackeys just like, oh, fuck this.
Fuck this, we tried it already.
I
We're
knew it.
staying here.
Yeah.
Coffee's good here.
Jim Caviezel expressed some great interest in playing the role of Superman. How would that have been? Have Jesus Christ as Superman?
Oh boy, Christians would have hated that one.
Man.
There was a lot of undertones, especially towards the end, where he was dead. He was in the hospital, and then miraculously he's gone. He has risen. Where did he go? No one knows. He went to Lois's house.
I just would have flipped that shit at the very end when Superman was hooked up to the heart monitor. If the little heart beeps where they're like boop 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 boop.
I think that would have been a little too campy.
Yeah,
It would have been funny as shit, but I don't think it would have really worked. very
That's
well.
like a Family Guy
in the Nick
thing,
Brown
you know?
re-edit, you can put
Yeah.
that in. So.
Well, there was something else that I read that I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah, IMDb is sort of a gold mine of
Oh,
just
yeah.
weird
Check
crap.
out
on some
Wikipedia.
movies.
You'll find out everything you want to know.
Yeah, I can't find it, but I remember reading it. It was at the last line in the fourth Superman movie. Superman says to Lex Luthor,
So long and thanks for all the fish.
Superman says to Lex Luthor, "I'll see you in 20." And that scene was filmed in 1986. 20 years later, 2006, this movie was released.
Funny how that works out.
Well, it's kind of funny how it works out, except that this movie doesn't acknowledge the third or fourth movie. So, fuck you.
Yeah.
Alternate universe.
Oh, look, I just
Superman.
read up here that on the... Or go up a little
Whoa, Will Smith was offered the role of Superman?
Hancock.
What the fuck?
bit. Seriously? Who's doing this crap?
Ah,
There was something about a break-in on the set? while
Yes,
they were making
yeah,
it?
there
where
was
the
a-
walkie-talkies were stolen.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
the movie was...
I'm just browsing this. As
Yeah,
binge
the movie
browsing,
was
so
was mainly shot in Australia, and
Notice the accents.
there was no accents.
I don't know what Australia do you go to? Come on, seriously.
Yeah, there was only a couple. There was only a couple scenes that were shot here in the States. And what's really funny, I'm again watching the
Outtakes.
the journals, the Bryan Singer journals. There was one point in there where Peter Jackson was shooting King Kong in New Zealand, and I guess he got like really like ill or fatigued while filming it, and called Bryan Singer over to just kind of come up on set with him. It's like, I need you to help me just kind of direct people. If I fall asleep or whatever, just take the reins for a little bit until I wake up. And while
Just passed out.
and while Bryan Singer's like sitting there explaining it to one of the actresses who just she went into the trailer thinking Peter Jackson was going to direct, comes back out and there's some new guy going, "Hello,
Hi, I'm Bryan Singer.
hi, I'm Bryan Singer. You might know me from Superman. Hasn't come out yet." He's explaining what's going on. Turns around and Peter Jackson's just fucking passed out. So he's sitting there like directing a few scenes. And I thought that was kind of interesting. So, while he's sitting there directing Superman, he's going over and directing King Kong.
There's a fun drinking game. Kill a shot, and every time you're watching King Kong when the Bryan Singer scene comes on. I'm going with the whole worms in the guy's head part. That was him.
Actually, it was the scene where King Kong and the T-Rex meet. They fight.
Oh,
That was the
there you
scene that he was directing.
So the actress
good time.
was the T-Rex.
And the first thing that he does when he gets on set, he steps right into one of this right into the set area that's already been fixed up and ready to go, and leaves a big, huge fucking footprint. One of the set designer guys just starts yelling. He's like, "Who the fuck did this?"
It was me.
Sorry, it's me. Hi, Bryan Singer.
Who the fuck are you?
I'm gonna be the
That
director.
was a Bryan Singer.
There's a lot
Me,
of
I'm making
interesting
Superman.
things.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
really?
Oh,
Really? Wow.
cool.
Cool. We're gonna leave this.
I hope it doesn't suck.
Like, I guess he got some crew members from
He starts
from
talking
King
about
Kong
it.
to come over there. And
Like, wait a minute, Superman doesn't have a son.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you making?
What the fuck? So who's playing Superman in the Man of Steel? It's Henry
Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
Who he
From
was
the
actually
Tudors.
he was actually up for the role of Superman for Superman Returns at one point.
So he's trying again.
And so
Yeah.
it's almost like they passed.
That's
on
like
him.
Christian Bale.
I'm
Like,
gonna play
trying
Superman if
out.
it kills me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like Christian Bale trying out for the role of Robin. You know?
Yeah. And he's like, "Well, fuck you. Fine, I'll just become Batman. Leave me
Yeah.
alone." Yeah, it is. It almost is. And yeah, it's almost like Henry's like, "Okay, well, you did it. Now let's show you how you're really supposed to do it." So that's going to be kind of interesting. What do you expect out of the new Man of Steel? Because this is
I don't know.
straight up rebooting the whole entire
I think
movie
we talked.
franchise.
I vaguely think we talked about this in season 1 at some fucking podcast, but I don't know. I think they're trying to go with a little bit more realistic approach, which I kind of hope they don't do. I don't know.
Well, there's so far with realism that you could go.
The
with Superman.
trailers that are kind of out, or the teasers are kind of, oh well, okay, Superman's homeless.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
parts in this where it kind of echoes like Earth 1 or even like a Superman version of Batman Begins. like the way that the teaser was shot. It was very much kind of like the same thing. Like you're seeing like where he's coming from.
The one thing that I mean, the whole Dark Knight trilogy was so epic, and it seems like everyone wants to do that now. So I kind of don't want that.
It's because it made so much money that everybody thinks if we just
we need a Superman based in reality.
You could kind of let them do this with this film. It's justified because I mean Christopher Nolan is producing it. He has a tie to it. He's like, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it right. Trust me, I know how to fucking do superhero movies.
Either that or the studio was just like, hey, Chris Nolan, we're going to pay you this much money if you just put your name on it. And he's like, all right.
You just show up every now and then and go, yeah, looks good.
Just show up, nod your head, and then get back to filming Dark Knight Rises.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm kind of anticipating something good out of this. I think it'd be good.
It could be interesting.
I mean, I'm always going to want to see a kick-ass super hero movie.
No matter what it is, I mean, you're going to go see it. Even though, like we mentioned, Fantastic Four. The first one was meh. It was all right.
Okay.
But we went and saw the second one. We went and saw it in theaters, and boy, that was
a pile of ass
right
there.
Cloud Galactus.
That was fucked up. There were so many bad things.
Yeah, when was Galactus a cloud? I don't remember that at all.
Well, after reading, like why that one sucked so bad, it was kind of that whole that studio had to make a Fantastic Four movie, however many years it is, to retain the rights. So
it was kind of like with Spider-Man. That's like one of the reasons why the Amazing Spider-Man came out so soon after the Spider-Man 3 came out.
Yeah,
it's because you have to produce a Spider-Man movie after so long, or Marvel will get the rights to it.
Yeah.
Which is fucked up that Marvel's sitting there waiting to get the rights back from Spider-Man from Sony.
It's actually probably a pretty smart, move that they did.
Yeah.
They're like, why not?
Everybody made money off of that. So
which makes me wonder, like, is Spider-Man going to make any type of appearance in the next Avenger movie?
Don't know. Probably not.
Because Marvel did.
It's always an option.
Yeah, Marvel did the Avengers, and Sony still has rights for Spider-Man. So are they going to let them cross over?
I know the Guardians of the Galaxy is supposed to take place in the same universe the Avengers did. So, and Avengers 2 got greenlit.
Yeah,
so.
I would imagine Avengers 1 was awesome. So
Avengers 2 already has its release date. I don't know what it is, but because I haven't looked at it
next month or something.
Yeah.
Josh Whedon's like, shit!
Oh, shit!
Uwe Boll's doing it. So.
Oh, fuck. Don't even tie his name to anything.
Yeah, I want to see the Asylum Films version of the Avengers.
Well, we saw the Asylum Films version of Thor. The Amazing Avengers.
The Revenge Team.
The Excellence.
The
Assemblers.
The Avenging Squad.
The Avenging Squad. There you go. Yeah. And now that I guess there's now with we're going so far off. We're just talking about superhero movies now. Now with Dark Knight Rises complete, that the Dark Knight trilogy is complete.
Yep, glad it stopped. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I mean it's good. It's good. People are saying, "Oh no, they have to make another one because they
could get away with it." But I think it's good
they opened up with, or they ended it with Nightwing being spoilers if you haven't seen it, with Nightwing being introduced, which kind of.
I wouldn't call it Nightwing.
Well, I get pissed off when people are like, "Oh, it's Robin." I was like, "No, he's not fucking Robin. There was never a fucking John Blake Robin."
Yeah.
I mean, and there wasn't a John Blake a Nightwing either.
Nope.
But Robin was the sidekick to Batman. Batman's gone at the end of this. This is him taking over. And even in the first one, it says that Batman isn't a man; he's a symbol. And that's what it is. I mean, is he going to be taking over Batman, or is he going to become Nightwing? It's never mentioned.
Well, I like how they talked about Batman can be a symbol, so now when Azrael takes up the mantle of the Bat and fucks it all up, the original Batman can come back.
He's not going to be able to move because all his joints are fucked.
Yeah. All that time over in Europe, so you're just like... Batman's really he just let himself go.
Batman's just like, all I did was just lay there for like 3 years.
All I did is drink wine and fuck bitches.
Selena Kyle just like, I don't want to fucking deal with you anymore. You're so fat and lazy.
I'd come up and slap you, but I can't.
Shut up, bitch.
Go steal me a sandwich.
With a sausages in it.
I mean... there's some talk of him maybe taking over as Batman in the anticipated Justice League movie.
Nah, ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. I don't think that Justice League movie is gonna happen.
I think the only, and this is gonna sound
if
really
it happens,
bad.
it's gonna be like 6 years down the road. There's so much shit that they got to do to get the rights for that.
Well, what I think is that they should do is they should, before they do another. Actually, I don't know. They could do it the same way that they did the Hulk, where it was a totally different actor in the Avengers for the Hulk, and now they're talking about doing another Hulk movie with Mark Ruffalo. I think they should do that with Batman.
Could. It's possible.
It's a good way of doing it. It's just, I mean, they could do.
They sort of had to ease into the correct sort of state of mind for the Hulk. First Hulk movie sucked. Second one was pretty good. And then the Avengers, awesome.
Hulk and the Avengers is like the best, the best Hulk ever. I think.
But that's
that's
neither here nor there. So,
well, it's kind of like trying to tie it back to Superman. Like the Avengers, where Hulk was doing his shit. Like Hulk was the Hulk, and that's what made it fucking awesome. I think if you make a movie about Superman, just let Superman be Superman.
Yep.
It's fucking awesome. It's gonna be a good movie. I mean, Superman just flying around, fucking shit up, getting big ass battles, and throwing nukes at fucking submarines. And
all right, big ass battles. I'm glad you kind of brought it back because there was something I wanted to talk about at the end of Superman. He's finally starting to get his ass kicked because he lands on this kryptonite mountain continent thing that Luthor made, and it has veins of kryptonite running through it. So he's starting to get weak, and in doing that, Luthor and his goons start beating the fucking shit out of him. And Superman eventually gets stabbed with the kryptonite knife, broken off, plunges into the water. Boom, he's dying. Yeah, okay. We won't even explain how this happened, but Lois saved him.
With a little help from a
how
Luke
douchey?
Skywalker.
How douchey is this? So Lois's husband or fiance flies an airplane in and lets Lois jump off into frigid Pacific Ocean, or I guess Atlantic Ocean waters to go down and rescue, Superman. Way to be a man there, asshole.
Yeah.
I'll just stay here and watch a plane. Have fun jumping in the ocean.
Look, man, that beer ain't gonna drink itself. Somebody had to man up.
So he gets stabbed with this kryptonite a kryptonite knife.
It's called Kryptonian.
And almost dies.
It's Compton.
And then I'm going to jump back to the first movie. The first movie, there's a scene where Lex Luthor puts kryptonite chains.
I'm going to dispute this, man.
Shut up. He puts kryptonite chains on him and throws him into the water, and Superman almost drowns. Because he's too weak, he can't take the chains off of him.
Okay.
All right? And then he almost dies from being stabbed by a little blade, by a kryptonite blade. And after that happens, after he gets the blade taken out of his side by Lois Lane, he jumps up, flies out into space, gets recharged by the sun, flies back down, goes under the water, and lifts the fucking continent out of the water and throws it into space.
It's not a continent yet. It's an island.
It's a fucking continent.
Island.
No, it's not.
It's a tiny island.
Fine, it's a tiny island, if you want to say it that, with veins of kryptonite flowing through it. Right in front of his fucking face.
Yeah.
You're telling me that chains of kryptonite could keep him submerged in water where he couldn't tear it off and almost drown.
Yes.
You're telling me that a blade of kryptonite can almost kill him.
Yes.
But you're telling me that even a small little island, I'll give you that, he could pick that whole entire thing up, carry it out into space, and throw it away.
Yes.
He had a Rocky moment.
It's true. He had a Rocky moment. That's what it was.
Bullshit.
He flew up. He got submerged with sunlight, and then he went underneath the island and pushed it up. All right. So in your scenario where he's drowning in the first movie, he has no dosage of sunlight before.
Yeah, but he has small little chains of kryptonite. He couldn't even take the chains off of him.
He couldn't. He was in water.
But he could pick up a fucking. He could go into the earth and pick up a fucking continent.
He had no sunlight bathes before that scene, and the kryptonite was consistent with him the entire time when he was in touch with that kryptonite. He picked up a continent of kryptonite, true. However, the base of this island
No,
continent,
he was holding the kryptonite to his hands. When he released it, you could
If
see
you look
the
at
red
it was
swelling on his hands
yeah,
from the
because
kryptonite.
it finally breached through once he hit the outer atmosphere.
Well, when he was just standing,
But by the time
when he was just standing on it, when he was just standing on the surface of the island, you had Lex Luthor punch him, and he goes fucking flying.
Yeah, because he was standing around kryptonite then.
He was just standing
Kryptonite
on it.
was exposed at that point.
No,
kryptonite
kryptonite
I remember. I
was
saw it.
exposed, but he was standing on it.
Right.
Levels above it.
Right.
Kryptonite is exposed underneath it, and he's holding it.
We don't know.
It's dangling in front of his face like a fucking cock.
No.
It's right
hold on,
there. He could stick
hold on,
his tongue
hold on,
out and
wait,
lick the sack of the fucking
all right,
kryptonite.
Hold on, I'm going to use this argument.
I just
I'm
don't
gonna
want
use
to
this
think about my
argument.
kryptonite as male.
At the beginning of it, he started to feel weak. And the first movie, he started to feel weak as soon as the kryptonite got out of the tiny little box that was blocking the rays. All right. Same scenario here. He had a shitload of iron and soot and all sorts of crazy shit underneath this island as he was pushing it out. Check inmate, bitch! Suck my dick!
I'm going bullshit on that because he had it right in front of his fucking face.
He did. I know.
He had it right there.
He did get it down in front of his face, but that was after he had pushed it already up out of the ocean.
No, I think he shouldn't have been able to pick it up. I don't think
my theory.
Actually,
Tell you what.
Let's just say this: the island should have just never fucking.
Let's
been
open
made.
this up to our listeners. If you agree with Nick and you're awesome, email us at youthrewpoo@me.com and let us know. If you agree with Ben and you're a douchebag, email us that too.
Oh, all right,
man.
It's time to wrap it up.
I get an opinion?
No, shut up.
Okay.
Let's wrap this up and give our final reviews. Scott, here, this is where you could voice your opinion, Scott.
I don't know if I want to. I'm sort of intimidated. But yeah, okay, all right. So my opinion of this movie, it's really weird because I haven't seen this movie since it came out. And the only parts I remembered about it was the airplane part, the getting shot in the eye with a bullet, and then the end. Everything else is just sort of
It's
which
Superman
that's sort
being
of
Superman.
Yeah. I mean, Superman being Superman, I remember, but the whole convoluted, almost kind of, sort of, maybe a little bit if you squint, love story in the middle. That was, I mean, I just totally forgot about that, and I have a feeling that give it about another year, and I'm probably going to forget about it again because there's no substance to it.
It's not memorable.
I mean, that's my main problem with the movie is it just slowly goes nowhere for the most part.
Now, do you remember stuff from the first movie or the second movie?
A little bit, but I mean, I haven't seen those movies in ages either. So, I think I probably remember a little more of those movies than this one.
Do you remember anything from the third or fourth movie?
Nope. Not at all.
Point taken.
I don't even think I've watched the fourth movie. So
Oh God,
It's rough.
It's rough.
yeah,
It's
that's what I've heard. Yeah, I sort of quit after the third one, I think.
I love the fourth one. His goal is to remove nuclear weapons from Earth, so he's just going around different countries being like, "Hey, fuck you! Give me
taking
this
these.
Boo!
Oh, hey, Superman, take those back. What are you going to do? Try to shoot me down? Pff, fuck you. I'm taking these. Yeah. Anyway.
Go ahead, have fun shooting at the nuke.
Look, it's going to explode. You're going to get fucked up, and I'm just going to fly off to another country and get more. But, overall, this movie it had a lot of really clever, funny moments in it that sort of, call back to other Superman movies and, comic book Superman stuff. You sort of have to be paying attention to pick it up, though.
the Action Comics.
Yeah, the Action
picture
Comics
where,
#1. That
where
was
he's holding the car.
that was epic. I enjoyed that one.
I didn't realize that until you mentioned it.
Yeah,
that
I was just sort of watching. I was like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then you have the you have to have like anything with Superman in it. You have the look, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman line in there.
Yeah, I mean, as far as whether or not you should watch this, I'd say if you're a fan, it's one of those. If you enjoy superhero movies, you probably have already seen this. If you enjoy Superman movies, this is something you probably got to see because there just aren't that many Superman movies.
Yeah.
In my opinion, though, I think DC
There will be.
Oh no! But yeah, in my opinion, I think if you're looking for the best Superman stuff right now, DC's animated series, like their animated movies, are just fantastic.
They're really good.
I'd say go watch that
They're really
instead of
good.
this. I'll give this a watch just because it's. I mean, I don't know. It's not bad. I guess it's very forgettable though. So
Yeah, it is.
I'll give it a watch.
Nick?
I'm gonna give it a watch. Also, I think it like the parts I remember from this are all Superman being cool Superman and Lex Luthor being cool Lex Luthor shit. So and then say watch it. It was I enjoyed it. I got a lot of slack, and I kind of agree with a bit of it. I think the whole having a kid was fucking dumb as shit. But
There was no
reason for it.
Even if it was at the end of the movie, the kid was the kid is the person that
at least
saves
if anything
saves the day or
leave
something.
it ambiguous throughout the entire time.
Or just don't say that it's Superman's kid because there's so many questions of like, well, if her memory was erased, are you trying to implement that Superman raped her?
Yep. Superman roofie.
He rapes her and then leaves Earth for 5 years.
This lovely roofie colada.
Yeah.
Have fun with that no child support, bitch.
I say watch it.
Yeah,
I agree with Scott. Not very many Superman movies. You owe it to yourself to at least watch it.
Yeah.
Get some. The Superman stuff is cool. He fucking saves the airplane, gets shot in the eye. It's awesome.
The action scenes are really good. I mean, where they are, they're really good. It's fun that way. But story wise, it was very weak. The characters' interaction was also kind of weak. I didn't feel any type of connection between Lois and Superman or Lois and Clark. It was just kind of like it seemed like it was two actors reading their dialogue. It didn't seem like they were actually invested in what they were talking about.
I'm okay, and you're okay, and that's okay.
Yeah. And the love triangle that they had going on, there was no type of conflict really between Richard and Superman. There should have been more scenes between the two, like because here's two guys that had the affection of Lois Lane. One is the current guy, one is the pretty much the old boyfriend type of thing that's come back into town, and Richard should feel threatened. They didn't touch on any of that. It was just kind of there, like, oh, here's the new guy, here's the old guy. Next scene.
Yeah.
They never touched on it until like the end, where all of a sudden Richard's fine with it. It makes no sense. There's a lot of missing elements in there. There were a lot of callbacks to the first and second movie. It's definitely, if anything, this was a love letter to the Richard Donner movies, and it almost seems like this was made more for the Christopher Reeves fans, and not a newer generation of Superman fans.
Yeah.
Because everything that was cool about it was kind of geared towards those first two movies. I mean,
this movie was sort of made. Wasn't it made sort of before like superhero movies became really awesome?
No,
No,
because Spider-Man was made before it. You had,
was okay. I was thinking it was after for some reason.
The Batman movies were made before it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Batman Begins was made before it, and X-Men was the X-Men movies were made before it, except for the third one.
I stand corrected.
Yeah, because I remember Bryan Singer started the third one and then left to go do Superman.
Yeah, there was a lot of little callbacks to the movies. One that I thought was pretty interesting was there was a model of the Mount Rushmore on Lex Luthor's model train set. That one of the faces falls off and gets destroyed, which is a callback to the second movie where General Zod destroys one of the faces on the real Mount Rushmore.
That was
so
awesome.
the little things like that. That's a cool callback. Perry White saying "Great Caesar's ghost," callback to the old TV show.
Gotta have that.
Little things like that. Clark Kent saying "swell," being a good old boy. So, but other than that, other than it being a love letter and having a couple of cool action sequences in there, this movie fell short. It didn't hold up to the hype, the 12-year hype. I mean, you had 12 years of this movie being in production. Yeah, it kind of started over with different directors, but with that many people and that many script ideas, you would think that you would be able to pick from which ones what worked, what didn't work.
Right.
It just seems like he just said fuck you to all of it. I'm going to do my own thing, and from what he actually created to what I think he was trying to create were two totally different things.
Oh yeah.
It didn't go as well as it should have, and hopefully the next Superman movie that comes out will do the franchise justice.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, they really need to just sort of make a Superman that is better.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
I was trying to think up a college word there, but all I got was better. So it's fine.
It's not complete crap. I mean, it definitely has its good points in it, and I would say watch it. It's definitely worth watching, especially if you're a Superman fan. But I mean, if you're not a Superman fan and you're trying to get into Superman, or if you want to. Out of all the films, I would say the second one, especially the Richard Donner cut of it. That's probably
one of the best ones.
That's probably the best Superman out there.
It's the Wrath of Khan of Superman movies.
Yeah, exactly. The Richard Donner. If you're wondering which one's the Richard Donner cut of it,
it says the Richard Donner cut.
Yeah,
and if you watch one will suck horribly.
Yeah, if you're
the
watching,
other one will be tolerable.
If you see it on TV one day. And you see a scene where Superman rips off a cellophane S, like we talked about, and throws it at one of the at one of General Zod's little lackeys there.
None.
Huh?
That was
none. That's right.
Yep.
That's not the Richard Donner version. That's the shittier version. That was the original release. The Richard Donner version is a lot better. And
vastly
better, and definitely watch that if you're not a Superman fan and you want to watch a Superman movie and get a good one, that would be the one to watch.
I like how that statement's sort of contradictory. If you really don't like Superman,
I
want to watch Superman.
I'm saying like if you're not familiar with the franchise
right.
and you're not a fan, I don't want Superman Returns to be the first movie that you watch and kind of get a sour taste in your mouth, going,
right.
I don't know if I'm really going to like this. So.
I say if you're not a Superman fan and want to watch something, get into Superman, I'd say just watch one of the animated movies.
Or watch Lois and Clark. The New Adventures with Dean Cain. Because no one's fucking better than Dean Cain.
He's the man as far as Superman.
He's the Superman.
He's the super duper man.
All right, so what's for next week?
I don't know. Whose turn is it?
It's a whole new setup.
Want me to go?
Man.
I can go if you want.
You can go. Whoever wants to go.
I'll go.
Yeah, because you've had a lot of movies set aside.
I shouldn't say a lot. I have a couple. I'm thinking we need to go back to a comedy icon. There was a whole period during, the sort of in the 90s where Jim Carrey was king. I mean, that every freaking movie, he did
The Mask?
The Mask, yep.
Ace Ventura?
Yes, Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura 2?
Yeah.
Son of the Mask?
Yeah.
No, that wasn't him.
Liar, though. Liar. But, yeah. So I was looking back in...
Mr. Popper's Penguins. No.
I hate you, Nick.
God damn it, Nick.
No, I was looking back in my archives and discovered a movie that I didn't even realize Jim Carrey was in. Really.
Oh, we discussed this. Yeah,
we were talking about this. It's the classic comedy movie, Earth Girls Are Easy.
Yeah, and has Jeff Goldblum in it too.
It does.
That's actually I liked that movie. I really liked it.
I don't think I've ever been able to sit through it.
I think it would be fun to watch that again because I haven't watched that.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that for a long time.
It's like one of those movies. I mean, I remember the trailers for it. I remember watching it. I can't remember exactly what it was about, but I do remember watching it.
I remember the scene where they they accidentally rob a convenience store or gas station, and they don't even know that they're robbing it or whatever. It was just because they're aliens.
It's all good.
They mean well, but they get into hijinks. It's fun.
The whole movie's about hijinks.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Yeah, it is. And they land in a swimming pool. It's awesome.
So that's what I'm going to bring in. I'm going to start her off season 2, episode 2 with an
80s film.
With an 80s film, yeah.
80s classic, I guess. I
Yeah,
don't know. Yeah, it's kind of a classic.
Yeah, you know,
And
Superman. This newest Superman was made like 20 years after the last one, so I'm going back like 20,
20 years.
We're going to go into
Going back 20 years. Why
See?
not? All
Math,
right.
science, it works in our advantage all the time. So.
Technology.
Technology.
All right, so next week we'll watch us. I was about to say Superman Return. We'll watch Earth Girls Are Easy. So that should be fun.
Should be easy.
Should be easy.
Exciting.
Should be an easy podcast. Oh, all right. So until next week,
We should bring in real Earth girls.
those are gonna be hard to find.
I don't think we're allowed to watch.
We have a lot of emails. We're not going to go through because pretty much every single one is saying, "Where the fuck are you guys? Are you done? What's going on?"
It was just vanished.
What?
Yeah, we didn't really publicize that our season finale.
Like
episode as a
Superman,
season
we just kind of
finale.
disappeared.
Just disappeared.
Yep.
It just disappeared.
No,
So
nothing
fuck
left.
you. No.
Only the people who asked discovered that we were not doing them for a while. So
Yeah. There was a lot of it just
sorry it's
scheduling.
taking this long.
We just took the
we're
whole.
just
we
dumb,
just took
so
it
we
off.
couldn't figure out how to do website stuff.
Yeah.
Websites are hard.
Toddlers and Tiaras was fantastic. I don't know.
My poems didn't go anywhere.
I got fucking high.
Ben ate something called a cheeseburger,
Man.
and we just lost him after that. It
Man,
was
you
gone.
have never experienced bliss until you have laid out on a canoe sipping coconut rum, smoking a joint in the middle of the Caribbean waters.
You have never experienced artistic.
I like to think
frustration.
that's just what was going through Ben's head when really he was like on crystal meth and like
He
sitting
was like
in a,
twitching on his bathroom floor.
he was basically in the bathtub from Saw. And he's just like,
Melissa walks in every once in a while. Ben, are you okay? I'm getting ocean. Okay, Ben, I'm gonna flush the toilet again. You're gonna pretend that's a whirlpool. Okay.
flush the toilet. He's like, it's raining again.
Oh, well, I think it's about time to wrap this up. So until next week, I'm Ben.
I'm Lois and Clark. New Adventures of Super Scott.
I'm Nick Newthorne.
This has been the Movie Dumb Podcast. Enjoy your week.
See ya.